Hey guys, it's Nemo and welcome back to the channel. Today's game features a World of Warships battle in the French Tier 10 battleship, the Republique. Now, I'm divisioned up with King and Cackle, two of my clanmates, two very good players in their own right, and we have an absolutely fantastic battle on our hands. Now, I have been quite disappointed with the state of the game recently and the way that World of Warships is going, to the point where I don't really find it very fun anymore. But this battle is the type of battle that reminds you why you like playing computer games. Full stop. It's not a ruffle stomp. It's not one-sided. And those types of games are the best. Now, the Republique, and as you know, I call all the French battleships heavy cruisers, and the reason is because they are very lightly armoured, but they are very fast as well. They also have very small guns, although the Republique now at tier 10 doesn't get the 380s, it now has 431mm guns. The only downside is you only get 8 of those, but you can fire them quite quickly once you buff the ship and captain skills. And the 431mm guns do pack a punch. Now, they used to be the second biggest guns in the game, but the 457s have recently crept in droves and overtaken the title of second highest caliber gun. But that doesn't mean that these guns are bad. This means that you can now overmatch 30mm of armor, which says to anyone who's played the game for a while or watches any of my YouTubers that now you can overmatch 27mm, which is Des Moines bow armor. So she can't sit bow in anymore to you because you can overmatch her, although with the Republique you don't want to get too close to a Des Moines because the 203mm guns on the Des Moines will absolutely wreck you. You have 32mm of armor all over your ship, and because of that, any ship that has 152mm guns with IFHE will destroy you. You'll watch here my health just melts away, and that's because my armor scheme can't withstand, especially high explosive, the amount of withering fire that comes in. And this is why you can't play French battleships as battleships. You have to play them as maneuverable heavy cruisers. As you can see, I'm already in a kiting position and I'm on the sea line, so I'm relatively far back, which is a shame because I like to get in there. A lot of players like to get in and have a bit of a brawl. I mean, I don't mind a brawl. I prefer the kiting position. It is the strongest position in the game, is the kiting position. You can dictate the match by baiting enemy ships in towards you and your teammates, or you can just get out of the way when you need to. Now, that behind me is a Hindenburg. Hindenburg has an extremely long range on her guns, 203mm, and they will wreck anything that is French. Now, these torpedoes must be 20k torps, and I thought that they were going to die out, but I thought wrong. And it does look like I'm about to hit one of them. So it's very rare that people run 20k torps on their shimmer, but that guy did, and he just got quite a fair bit of damage off two battleships who are being forced right away from the battle already. So as you can see, my health is very, very low, and again, this is just what happens when you play French battleships, because you haven't got the armor, as I've said before. So this game is it starts off feeling like I'm going to die very early, but I don't get to die very early, which is handy, and my division mates and I manage a whopping 500,000 damage between the three of us. It's just one of those games that makes, as I said, it reminds you of why you enjoy playing computer games. Now, the other good thing about the 431mm guns on the Republic is that you have a very good fire chance. So if you can fire HE as much as you can, especially into bow on ships, use the 431's armor piercing at anything broadside, because you will wreck, and you'll see some salvos later on in the battle where enemy ships just get absolutely mauled by the broadside salvo of this ship. The Republic is a fantastic ship. There's a lot of people that don't like it, and they don't really like it because you've only got the 8 guns and you have got that weak armor scheme. But playing as a cruiser, and this is the reason why I love this battleship line, is because I main cruisers. I prefer to play cruiser, and so when I play these ships, I feel like I'm just playing big cruisers. So it's still relatively close, this battle. It's, there's, the caps are contested. There's 1 cap each at the moment, and then the sea cap is being fought over. We've only lost 1 ship each. They've lost a battleship and we've lost a cruiser. Battleships, you don't want to lose battleships too early on, because you need them to tank for the majority of the game. And same with destroyers. You don't want to lose your destroyers either, because you need eyes. Now, a lot of people think that the aircraft carrier's role is spotting. Since the CV rework, the aircraft carrier's role has not been spotting at all. It's just damage farming, trying to take out either low health targets, or depending on what aircraft carrier you're playing, you can do really well against destroyers. But anyone who thinks that a aircraft carrier can sit above an enemy ship and keep it spotted while that continuous AA is going, especially at tier 10, is sort of kidding themselves. I know that AA is not very strong, and I say it all the time. Like, an AA build is not really going to do you too much, but you can't be out there trying to spot when it's not your role anymore. That's why you need your destroyers, and destroyers' role, especially once submarines come in, is going to be even greater again. So you're going to have to do a lot of the hydro work around killing off the submarines, and the reason is because the cruisers may have hydro as well, but cruisers aren't going to get as close to enemy submarines as what a destroyer can, and because of its detectability. So I've been playing at the back for essentially I haven't passed the sea line this entire game, and it's really frustrating that I can't get in there and help. So I decide that I'm going to go in. I'm going to move along this B line, and I'm going to get ready to head into the cap there. It's the only cap that we haven't got at the moment. If we get that cap, I mean, we have quite a good points lead, but if you get all 3 caps, the pressure on the enemy team is, it's insane how much pressure is, and people panic. The more that you're controlling the game, the more that the enemy panic, and the more likely they're going to make mistakes. Although the enemy team has a very good division on their team. They're from the Chow clan, and they play really well in this game. They do really well. Anyway, that Des Moines there is a massive problem, because I can't go in too close to him. See, the Hindenburg can melt me from range, and the Des Moines can destroy me as soon as I get close. Now, it's been that type of battle where we're not even 10 minutes into the game and all my heals are gone. I'm nearly out of my last speed consumables. I've got 1 more after this. It's just one of those games where we've been fighting from the very start, and it's fun when that happens. If you can fight like this and contest and not lose ships, it makes the game intense and enjoyable. It's that that intensity in games where one mistake can cost you the game. Those types of games are great to play. So I get hit with HE, and as you can see, you just get set on fire so many times. You melt. Like the amount of damage I took, not just from fire, there was huge. It happens all the time. But then again, I am facing a couple of Conquerors down here, so Conquerors will absolutely wreck you with high explosive in any ship that you're in. So we're going into the cap, hoping that the Des is going to die. My two division mates here are working really well with both spotting and using smoke and radar together to make sure that they can keep things spotted. There was a DD hanging around. They're both gone. Both enemy destroyers have gone to the other side of the map. And the Des Moines looks like he's going to go down. And my biggest problem is still the Hindenburg. Now this guy is moving really, really well. One thing that these 431mm guns do is float. They have very, very floaty shells. So you need to account for that when you're firing. They're not as floaty as the American shells. American shells are quite floaty, and you can see them through the air. That's why they're very good island hugging ships, especially the cruisers. You put a Des Moines or a Worcester behind an island, and you just fire over the island and just farm people. So we'll get a good shot off there. Great citadel into the side. Unfortunately he doesn't die, but we've got to remember that this is my last health. I have nothing left in this game. So it's making me a little bit nervous, and my teammates getting a little bit nervous. And even though we have the points, we don't feel like we're in control of the game. And this Conqueror, if he was looking at me, he could have finished me. I came out broadside. I was looking for his broadside, and that's why I came out the way I did. And we get a good citadel there, double citadel to finish him off. And that's always satisfying. There's nothing more satisfying than getting citadels and getting the kill. It just makes you feel like, you've got the power. So our Hindenburg's doing well. He actually goes into the cap and stays there for a while. He goes to a kiting position, and then the enemy Hindenburg tries to force him out. We have one cap. They're contesting our C cap, and we're contesting their A cap. So now that all the caps are contested, we're the only ones getting points coming in through our caps, but we're still dying. Now, we might be going ships down, but because we've had the caps for much longer, is why we're ahead. And cap points are great, but if you keep dying like this, we're just going to end up losing out anyway because we won't have enough points. Oh, Dev Strike. Dev Strikes. But there you can see the power of the 431mm guns. As soon as you get something broadside, you can absolutely wreck them. You saw the Conqueror take a double citadel. You took the Hindenburg there, just took a double citadel. And this is where the game starts to get really, really pressurized in the way that the enemy are contesting our caps. We're extremely low on health. You can see there my clan mates are very low on health as well. I'm low on health. I would love to fire off and get some of these enemy ships killed. I'd end up firing at the Hindenburg here, but I'm waiting till he goes a little bit behind the island. I'm trying to get him as he comes broad behind the island, but I don't think he does. He turns back north and misses my shells. But I was trying to do it so that he wouldn't be in a position to fire at me. So remember when I talk about all the time that, so here like King, for example, killing the Conqueror, it's a one-on-one, and you want to fight, it was a one-on-two, sorry, there between him and Cackle. And if he had to come out and I had been there as well, we had that as a 3-on-1 kill. So every time you want to take a fight, you want to make sure that you have numerical advantage, because it just increases the chances of you guys winning. Not always. Believe me, I've seen multiple ships be destroyed by one ship, and you got to ask yourself how. But that sort of stuff happens in the game. Sometimes people just have one mistake, and one mistake can end it. But now we're in a bit of a trouble. We have lost sea cap, and it is not contested at all. We have no one over there. Our hack is the closest, and he plays really well at the end here. He just reverses and stays bow one. And as you can see, the guys from Chow are starting to dominate, I guess, the back end of this game. But the hack, reversing the way he does, stays bow on to the enemy ships, and it makes it a lot harder for them to kill him and overmatch his armor. So we have held that middle cap. My two division mates, my clan mates, have held that cap so well. And if it wasn't for their efforts in the middle there, we probably would have lost the central control a lot earlier. I've been forced to play, except for when in my little foray into the cap there where I got those 2 kills, I've been forced to play at range most of the game, and you don't really want to play at long range in the Republic, because you can fire quite far. You can see I've got 26.1 kilometers shot, but the shells, because of how floaty they are, you don't really want to play too far away. So the Stalingrad here comes out broad. He just turns enough that I don't get more shells on him, unfortunately. But there was another big citadel. If he had have stayed completely broadside, I could have finished him. I could have gone to HE here as well. Wouldn't have been a bad option. Having the hack there turn the enemy away just gets me a shatter on him. HE wouldn't have been too bad. The reason I wanted to stay with the AP as I'm running here, because these two guys can absolutely finish me. If they swap to HE and they fire at me, I will die extremely quickly. I mean, the Kremlin with his 457s could end me anyway, but I'm at essentially at his max range. 18 kilometers, effective firing range. The dispersion on his shells are going to be quite wide, and as you can see, as they're coming in, I think I get hit by a couple of them. So they're like one just glances off the side though. You want to, if you're going to take on a Kremlin in a Republic, you're going to take on the Kremlin at range, and you're just going to load HE and off you go. I am firing AP, as I said, and unfortunately their king goes down. Now this would have been a really, really good shot, but the aircraft carrier saw it as well, and he beaches the Stalingrad. He was playing so well, and then, as I said, that one mistake, and he accidentally beaches into the island, and my shells are out. They're looking pretty good, but the hack has the torps off, and he's going to get the kill there just before I reach. But a kill's a kill. We needed to win the game and killing the Stalingrad and the Kremlin, our priority. So I fire off my last AP. The reason I'm playing Stern on here is that I'm trying to mitigate as much damage as I can. So at this type of range, the Kremlin's not supposed to be as accurate, because its dispersion's supposed to be pretty bad at this range, although it's not. We all know it's not. And if he hits me, and you can see he's firing HE at me, so I've hit him and set him on fire. I just want to keep firing because we lost another ship, so unfortunately Cackle goes down there and my division mates died, but they died at their post. They died defending that cap right until the end, and as I said, their efforts were not in vain, and this is the type, as I said before at the start of the battle, this is the type of battle that you want to play. Now we're losing ships. There's 20 seconds to go. The hack and I are trying to finish this Kremlin while staying alive. The Kremlin aims for the aircraft carrier. He should have kept firing at me, even at that long range. He would have got me with enough even overpens to finish me off. I've got 4,700 health. You know, what a top game. Those are the types of games that you absolutely love. So anyway, how do we build this fantastic ship? And it's just, I love this ship. Love this ship. So we're going to go with main armaments modification 1. We're going to go with damage control system mod 1. We're going to go with aiming systems mod 1. In the 4th slot, we're going to propulsion mod 1. We're going to go concealment modification 1, and then we're going to run main battery mod 3 to give us some more reload time. Our captain build, and if you have one of the Honores, they are the best to run. We're going to go priority target first. Then we're going to run expert marksman to turn those big turrets quicker. Basics of survivability, and then concealment expert are our first 10 points. We're going to expert loader, and then we're going to go with adrenaline rush. We have high alert, and then we're going to go with fire prevention. Fire prevention is a staple of any battleship, really, because of you don't want to burn. Obviously, the amount of HE spam in the higher tiers is insane, and that's the last thing that you want. Anyway, Republic, as I said, one of my most favourite ships in the game. Heavy cruiser, really, more than a battleship, but once you get the hang of it, absolutely fun to play. Anyway guys, thanks for joining me, and stay safe out there.